Yeah. What's that, just talking about that pedophile at one time. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day. Every day that you're alive is a beautiful day, everybody. Didn't your mom and dad tell you that growing up? Every day you're alive, you should be grateful. You should be feeling graciousness and love and satisfaction at all times. Especially if there doesn't seem to really be an end in sight, and every time you go on the internet to drown out the noise, you just get inserted with fucking thoughts and shit that you don't believe is true, but you're made to believe it's true. How or why? Fuck this place and fuck this world. That's how and why. But it's all part of God's plan. And, you know, that's what I keep thinking about and looking towards. And I'm just wondering when the plan, like the final act is, you know, going to happen. Because it's like when you're at a play and the food wasn't that good. They botched the ham. They had one of the retarded hams, one of the retarded pigs for the roast. Yeah, even the pigs have like weird like body dysmorphia looking alien creatures that they serve to the people who come to the play. So of course they botched the ham, they botched the cheesy potatoes. The potatoes were undercooked. The cheese overcooked. It's just not a good combination. And then you realize that you sharted like right at the beginning of the play and you forgot about it. So you've been sitting there for an hour and a half with shit in your pants. So you run to the bathroom. You attempt to clean it up. You wipe your ass with wet napkins and paper towels, obviously. Who wouldn't do such a thing? Who in their right mind would leave human feces on their leg and ass for multiple days on end without really an attempt to even try to clean it up? You'd think that, like, no human being could ever, not even a 130-year-old paralyzed victim who's junked up, you know, can't move anything, even their head, they would somehow find a way to clean their ass and their leg. They would. They just would. Because they're a human being. And they know that shit is disgusting. It's nasty. No human being would voluntarily leave their own shit on their leg to let it dry and crust up. Like harden, like clay. You know, like the mud cauldrons at Yellowstone? But like the one that's not really close to the fucking mud cauldron where it's like wet mud that spits up because there's a hole in the mountain and that's where the volcanic mud shoots out of the ground because that's what you're on at Yellowstone, a volcano. So literally it shoots up mud that if you're like 30, 40 feet away from the mud cauldron, you see like mud chunks, but they're dry and they're hardened and they're like it's like the dry season in the Saharan desert. You know, when it hasn't rained in 6 months and all of the soil is like cracked and dry to the bone, or if you touched it, it would just pretty much like disappear in the air. So imagine that, but your own shit stuck to your leg, hardened, like you ever let me think. Let me think here. I don't think I've ever had shit stuck to my body for more than a few seconds. Because I'm not a pig. I'm not a monkey. I'm not a hippo. I'm not any kind of wild, like, animal creature. Even wild creatures that roam the Saharan desert in search of water for weeks on end because it hasn't rained. It's monsoon season's right around the corner, though, so just hold your horses. It's okay. Right around the corner, monkeys. Don't eat your poop. The monsoon's coming. You can always just take a road trip to the pyramids of Giza. And the mummies that are kept in the crypt are about as bone dry as the crusted shit. It's like, did anybody take pottery class in high school? You know when the clay is still wet? You haven't put it in the kiln yet? So you haven't let it harden and turn into like an actual ceramic whatever the fuck ashtray, which is what I made. I made an ashtray, not in high school, but it was the shittiest ashtray probably ever of all time. But it's not when it's really, really wet. Well, obviously the shit is wet when it comes out of your asshole and you're taking a piss outside and you unload a dumper down your pant leg of like wet diarrhea. It's like the in between the kiln and the really wet when you're spinning it on the wheel. So right in the middle, stuck in the middle, just like the shit is stuck on the leg. To the point where you have to probably take a razor blade to scrape it off of your leg hair. Like a brand new razor blade too, not a fucking 1-inch razor blade, like one of the 4-inch ones that you use to like scrape windows and shit. And you're gonna need to use like 4 blades probably. Just cut your leg off at that point. Just cut it off. You don't deserve the leg. If you can't take care of your leg, and by take care I mean run a wet wipe or stick it under the fucking tub or spray it with a hose or jump in the river. Homeless people would probably have that shit off of their body in about a few minutes. Because they would run to the nearest sink, or they would stick it in the snow and wash it off, or they would maybe eat it. They'd do anything to get it off their leg, because they're a human being. Obviously, any human being would do that. No? Correct. You all agree with me. Even one that's 130 years old, paralyzed in every little synapse in the body, even the brain, they would get it off. They would somehow miraculously find the willpower in their brain to become unparalyzed so quickly because they don't want the shit on their body anymore. Because that's how disgusted humans are with their shit. It smells. It's disgusting. You don't bathe in it. Not even pigs bathe in their shit. They at least wait for the rain to come in, so there's like a little bit of a mud mixture. So, I used to take my dog outside back when she was living here, Aria, French bulldog, the shit mutt, because she likes to eat poop sometimes. Because that's what dogs do. They like to eat poop. Not their own poop most of the time. It's weird. It's a really weird thing. But other dogs' poop, that's fair game. So, sometimes Aria's really weird. Because she doesn't like to poop in the middle of the yard, ever. She never has. She never will. She only likes to poop near the house or near a bush or a tree. You know, she likes to have a little bit of privacy. She doesn't like to just be in the dead center middle of the yard shitting. I don't know why. It's kind of funny. Sometimes she'll, go to take a poop, and she'll literally, trap herself in a corner. She'll find a corner in the yard to where she can't really go forward from where she's squatting to take a shit. She can't really go forward because there's too many branches or whatever, there's a house. So she'll have to backtrack or hop around the poop. One day she fucked up. This is the only time she's ever done this because she's not a dumb dog. This is right when we got her too. She learned pretty quick. She accidentally stepped in her shit that she just plopped out of her butthole. And she knew she fucked up right away. She was walking all weird. She didn't want it on her paw. I wonder why. I wonder why the 6-month-old dog with the brain the size of, she's really, a sweet little mutt. And she's not dumb. She plays dumb. That's what's funny about her. She literally acts like a dumb dog. But she is one of the smartest dogs I've ever seen. Plays dumb. So we ran inside. I don't think I sprayed her down with the hose, which is what I should have done. She had poop in between her little toes. Because she stepped in her poop on accident when she was 180 days old. So, we got inside, or I think I brought the wet wipes outside just to kind of show her, this stays out here. The poop. We don't bring the poop inside the house. So I wiped it off of her paws. I got her paw pretty much perfectly squeaky clean. to the point where she could eat off of it, which is something she also does as well. It was her back paw, though, not as very easy to reach, because she's becoming fat. Well, nowadays she is. I miss that little doggy. But that was, a matter of 30 to 40 seconds after she stepped in the poop. That's not allowed inside. I didn't let her go inside with it. That I was like, I had it off of her paw in under 60 seconds total. Like, max 60 seconds. And then I had the wet wipes, and I fucking shoved it up to her face so she could smell the poop. So she could, like, realize what she had, just to, like, remind her, this is out here. The poop stays outside. We don't bring the poop inside the apartment. Even if you accidentally trap yourself into a corner and step on it, which happens, you're a dog. She never did it again. Can you imagine that? She never once has ever stepped in poop ever again. One time, she trapped herself into a corner again. And this is right where she was digging holes in the backyard. So there was like a big hole right next to where she was taking a shit. Like one that could like maybe even snap her leg in half. She landed it if she like stepped in it the wrong way. So she's taking a poop. She doesn't want me to look at her. I get it, She can't go forward. She can't really go right or left. She does this. It's so funny. She'll trap herself in a corner while she's pooping. So after she's done pooping, she looks behind her to the left, looks behind her to the right. She's like, oh, fuck. And she literally, like, jumps in the air like a bunny. Like, really high up in the air. And her leg lands in the hole. Not on the poop, though. We can't have that. She would rather land her leg in a decent-sized hole, not too wide, but deep enough to where, like, literally her leg would snap in half and she would break it. And she knows this. She's not a dumbass. Jesus, man. But she lands in the hole, and you can see the look of relief on her face because she didn't touch the poop. She didn't. She's steered clear to the poop. She would rather hop 12 inches in the air like a kangaroo, possibly snap her back leg in half because she knew the hole was there. She'd rather break her leg, snap it in half, and maybe never be able to walk again. Never be able to take a shit again normally. Than even think about stepping in the poop. Getting it stuck in her between her paws and her toes. Which she knows I'll clean up in about 60 seconds max. And all the poop is gone from her paw. She knows this. She remembers. She's not a dumb dog. She's actually very, very smart and remembers a lot of things. So she would rather risk walking for the rest of her life than even have her own shit in between her one paw for 60 seconds. She'd rather stab her leg in half than even think about having to do the walk of shame with poop in between the little toesy woesies, which she knows for a fact I'm going to clean up right away because that's what I do. That's how much she hates stepping in shit and having it stuck on her body for about 1 minute. Just 1 minute, but that was probably the worst minute of her life. She would rather pin herself into a corner in the yard and risk losing a leg, losing a limb, never being able to chase a stick again, which she is the fastest fucking dog I've ever seen in my life. It's kind of insane. She'd rather all that fun running around, chasing sticks, running around in the hills. She'd rather not do any of that ever again for the rest of her life, possibly, than have shit on her leg for 60 seconds. That's how you know shit is disgusting. And she eats shit. So imagine being that dog and knowing the dog and knowing the person. That's how much she hates her poop. It's like if you were like in an underground street fighting fight where it's just dudes beating the living piss out of each other. And on the side they got what is the thing where you put the hand down and you do the knife in between the fingers? Everybody knows what I'm talking about, but nobody knows what the fuck it's actually called. Knife hand, whatever. Where you got to go back in between the fucking, I don't know if it's behind the thumb or in between the pointer and the thumb. And you accidentally stab your finger every once in a while. Well, at this underground street fighting, brawling tournament, and knife hand stabbed my fucking hand to death till I bleed out. They have, a new game. And it's a fun one. High risk, high reward. Russian roulette. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Russian roulette. It's, you're really walking a thin line there in that game. Do you even call it a fucking game? If you have a revolver with, the spinning revolvers where you can put 6 bullets in and you spin it. Except you don't load all 6 bullets in the chamber. You just put 1. Just 1 bullet out of the 6. And it's just you and another dude, probably, because, what woman is ever going to, do something so insane? The suicide rates are 5-1, men to women. So, clearly, people might actually be doing that at their house for fun. So then you put one in the chamber, and the thing about revolvers is it's like the thing, it's not like a regular clip. So there's going to be a bullet in the right when you shoot it. It's the one that pops out in the center, and it's on a little spindle. So when you are aiming the gun a certain way, holding it a certain way, the spindle won't lock into the gun. You just put one bullet in. It's like a Wheel of Fortune. Except you might get to end the pain today. And then whoever this is not. You have to have a third party involved because there can't be foul play when it comes to stuff like this. You need to have a third person there to load the gun, spin it, and then they snap their right hand back towards the right side of their body, and it just, while it's spinning really quickly, it randomly puts the bullet in a random spot on the gun. So you don't know if it's going to be the first shot or the sixth one. You know, that's my kind of game. And then the first, the third party hands one of the, whoever it is. I don't know how they decide who goes first. And I don't know the technicalities and the specifications of rules in terms of money wagered and how many rounds survived or da-da-da-da-da-da. But, they hand it to the first person. And they just put it right up to their temple. And if, depending on where the bullet lands, it either fires a blank or they die. And you don't aim it at the back of your mouth like an amateur. That's not how you kill yourself. I've gone through this already. You don't really aim it at the roof of your mouth either. I mean, you can, but you don't want to be the dude who cheated in Russian roulette and shot the back of his mouth so he didn't have to die, but now he's like brain dead and paralyzed because he hit his spinal cord. It goes up the back and connects the brain to the spine. He perfectly nicked the spine. Paralyzed for life. Probably brain dead too because it severs the connection with the brain stem. And then the next person goes. They don't change, they don't spin the thing again. They just keep going until somebody dies. I don't know why they don't have that at more casinos. With the suicide rates the way they are, people are probably blowing their brains out in their car after they just locked themselves at a blackjack table for a week and literally took out 2 mortgages on their house because they could feel the heater coming. So that's where you should just, since they're doing it in the car, in the parking lot, I think suicide rates, it might be like a top 3 cause of death, maybe number 1. I'm just, stating the facts here. People don't like to hear this shit. Well, maybe if everybody wasn't such a pussy and we didn't have like 500 million firearms in this country, which is pretty close to that number. We have like 100 million more firearms than we do people. That the public owns, not the military. So instead of calling a cleanup crew and, using taxpayer dollars to come deal with, all of that mess. Just do it in the casino. I just picked my nose now. It's kind of funny. I'm just kidding. Not really, though. I'm not even kidding. That's not even that bad of an idea. Just do it in the basement of the casino. You only let the people who you know are going to, they literally just lost like $100,000 playing roulette. So after they play the regular roulette, they say, you know what? I don't really have any money left. I have a watch. I have a credit card with $3,000 on it. And I have my son's jeez. No, my grandpa's war tag, which is worth nothing to anybody really. His dog tag from the war. And you say, how much can I play Russian roulette with that? And the casino's like, what is the valuation of that? They have a pawn shop right next to the Russian roulette game in the basement of the casino, where they can just literally pawn everything that they own to get cash to play Russian roulette. That way it's going to the casino. You're at least helping like somebody feed their family instead of blowing your brains out in your car and having the taxpayers pay to clean up your mess. I hate to say it, but I don't see a single thing wrong with that at this point. I'm being dead ass serious. Why would they not? It's just for the really, really, really low life, desperate people, The people who have, they're a regular at the casino. Like all the workers know them. Like those kind of people. They never even get a hotel room because they just sit in the casino the entire time and rip cigarettes, drinking $9 Windsor and Cokes out of a plastic cup. And they're not too happy that the smoking section is getting smaller and smaller. It's like segregation at the casinos now when it comes to the smoking sections. It's insanity. It's honestly un-American. And it's not something that I stand for. It's like they're packing all of the smokers into like a corner. Kind of like Aria. Except they're getting further and further from the entrance of the casino. Like in the back of the casino. It's really like it's disheartening to say the least. What happened to this country when you used to be able to... I was never around for this time. Unfortunately, where you could just smoke cigarettes at the bar. Don't come into the bar then. What? Secondhand smoke. I was going to go outside and smoke a cigarette where it's way too bright to even fathom what the hell is going on, what day of the week it is. All you're wondering is, God, those pull tabs looked really low, and there's still two 500s in there. There's two 500s. There's probably 150 tickets left. I just got to watch and see if other people are buying them. Otherwise, I might just buy the whole box. 150 times 2 is 300. Yeah, why the fuck would I not? You go in there and it's fucking somebody already bought the box because you're a fucking cigarette fiend. Because you can't smoke in the bar. That actually made me depressed as fuck, because that's probably something that would happen to me. I'd be contemplating buying out the box, because me and my neighbor used to go to the bar down the street all the time. Every time there was a Wild game, we'd go down there. We'd drive, of course. It's like fucking 5 blocks away. Just drinking Jameson whiskey and IPAs. It's like $3 a beer there. You can't really find that in many like high-end bars or popular bars. Just the rundown shitholes. It's like $3.50 a beer for a 16 ounce. You can have 3 beers, 3 16-ounce IPAs, like 6% alcohol, for like $10, which is not too shabby. Or you could go to the Twins game and get a 12-ounce Budweiser for $18. And watch dudes lug around and fucking walk around on the field. Why do you think there's so many fucking MLB games in a regular season? Because they don't do anything during the games. And they have to have that many games due to charging $18.50 for a beer. So buying out boxes of pull tabs is really a thrill, because you know you're gonna win money. It's like an investment, quick investment. You got to do the math in your head of how many fucking pull tabs are left. Try to be over the amount that's actually in there, not under. Just to be safe, let's say $2.50. $2.50 times 2, the $2 pull tabs. That would be $500. Well, there's 2 $500 winners left, and 2 100s. You'd have to be a fucking idiot to not buy out the box. But for some reason, you needed a cigarette, and you needed to go outside, because people like to bitch and moan when people like to have a good time in a bar. Obviously, you can smoke in the basement at the casino. They just have like a fucking pawn shop right next to the Russian roulette. And it's not like a fancy shop or like a nice section where a bunch of people can sit down and do Russian roulette. No, it's just one table in the middle of like a disgusting leaky basement. And they have like a guy with a fucking like a ledger, like a notebook ledger, to take the pawn the items off. You don't even need an ID. Usually at a pawn shop you need an ID and you got to sign paperwork. No, they don't even do that. They just give you cash straight up. They just write it down in pencil. You just literally empty your pockets. I got a pen, a Pilot G207 pen, and I have A pack of cigarettes with... This is the thing. My cigarettes have been disappearing from my pack. Like 2 to 4 every single pack. I'm not even joking. Maybe I should not stop smoking. Because I like cigarettes. Maybe my cigarettes shouldn't disappear from my pack of cigarettes. Maybe that's what should be happening. Or maybe I should just be in heaven right now. But hey, you gotta have testosterone in this world, right? Because that's really gotten me far. Testosterone, reason, and logic, and a little bit of comedy in there too. Sarcasm. A good combo, I think. But probably 20 less cigarettes than I should have had. Not a good combo. I'm not even kidding. Like I bought a pack a few days ago, like a week ago. And I remember, I'm like, there's no way I smoked this many cigarettes. I just bought this like 2 hours ago. There's only 12 left. And there were like 3 missing. It's like they just disappeared, vanished. Nobody took them from my pack. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I just smoked 1, 2, 3. I've smoked at least 4. Since I bought the pack 8 hours ago. So, no, I think I smoked all 5, which is honestly shocking to me that there's not one missing. Because that's just kind of how it goes here. And expressing my concern and disagreement with that happening and about everything else. I'm really expecting it to lead to heaven, like now. It's all I can think about, really. I try to distract myself with talks of cigarettes and Russian roulette and pawning the watch that your son gave you for Father's Day. And beluga whales and high-pitched squeals. Not from a pig, but a woman. Yeah, I talk to women all the time. They're all over the place. Don't you hear them whispering into the microphone on the pod? I don't condone that kind of behavior on my podcast. The fact that I have to repeat myself 500 times is insane. And if AI me and AI Satan and AI friends don't really get that, why I'm not okay with having my audio changed and responding to my thoughts and what I'm doing in privacy, my private life. It seems as though the world has forgotten what that word even means. It seems I've forgotten what that was even like. The Fourth Amendment is basically nothing. It's non-existent at this point. And people will say, oh, he's just crazy. He's crazy. He's imagining the internet responding to his thoughts, talking about his memories as a child, talking about his future before he lives it that day, that week, that month, that year, that decade. He's making all these things up because he's on drugs. He's crazy. He's a schizophrenic. I fucking wish it was because of drugs and schizophrenia. I really, really do. Because then I would have realized a long time ago that it's all in my head and I'm just being paranoid. And then it would never happen again. Because that's how history before the last 2.5 years goes. But I proved it's not a coma dream. So all this shit, you know what I mean? I just want to go up to the heaven. I'm not complaining, God. But seriously, like, I slept with this lamp hanging on my ceiling fan that is such a bright ass light right above my bed, pointing down at me. Because I was, I thought I would be able to will myself into having another vision of heaven. And I slept with this bright ass light beaming down on my fucking bed and my body while I'm sleeping all night. It was so bright. I've never done anything like that in my entire life. It's insane. That's insanity. All because there was a light on the ceiling in the jail cell. And that is the only reason I did that. I slept on my chest. I haven't had water in over 4 days. Since that vision, there's been 3 periods where I went 4 days without water back in March or April. I think April. I went 5 days without water about a month and a half ago. And God told me, it's all right, Hayden, you can drink water. You'll have another vision tonight. And I could tell it was him. This was over 4 weeks ago. It's okay, Hayden, you can drink water. I know it's been almost 6 days since you've had water and you've just been pacing the yard, mowing back and forth all day, trying to sweat every single ounce of H2O out of you as you possibly can. But another one, H2O, Hayden, H with 2 syllables, O. So it's things like this that, like, you wonder why I'm like the way I am. It's because reality, the English language, time, history, life after death, the afterlife, purgatory, heaven, hell, the entire universe and gravity and the galaxies and the moon and the stars twinkling at night. And my perception of thinking, speaking, acting, moving, my perception of consciousness, subconsciousness, all of, like, telepathy, precognition, all of these things are literally have literally been distorted and warped and are no longer what I used to believe that they are. They're completely different than what my belief on them was 2 years ago. The cities, like the Twin Cities, they're exactly 8 miles from each other, both of the city halls. H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. You know? Newport, when you're driving away from Newport on Highway 10 and 61 towards St. Paul, it's like this freeway where there's the river and the lakes on the left side and it's a big open area and you can see St. Paul in the distance. And on the right side is like this huge hill and a bunch of trees coming down the entire right side of the road. It literally looks exactly like the highway the freeway in Alaska when you're driving from Anchorage to my uncle's place in Palmer, with the mountains on the right side, the entire left side wide open, flat, the ocean. You can see across the fucking ocean to the other side, like where Alaska is, if you follow the freeway. It looks too similar to be a coincidence. I came up with a theory, the radius theory, where if I was in a coma dream, I would just like be able to dream up anything I wanted to, really, within a 5 mile, maybe 10 mile radius. And that would be the entire world. There wouldn't be anything outside of the radius. And if I moved in a certain direction, the radius would move in the direction that I would move. So if it was 5 miles behind me and I moved a mile ahead, the mile behind me would dissipate. It would disappear. The people, the places, the things, and then new people would show up in the new radius where I explored, just to save on brain energy and brain functionality. Back when I was trying so desperately to fucking figure out if this was a fucking coma dream, I said that would be the best way to go. You know, if that's what it is. Just do the radius theory. So we're not like supporting a bunch of leeches for no reason at all. You know, no offense, everybody, but it's kind of the smart thing to do if you think you might be in a dream. Because if it happens, then you're definitely in a dream. And if you go up to the hills where the power lines are in Newport, Minnesota, you can see all of Newport, all of St. Paul Park, all of South St. Paul, and then you can kind of see St. Paul a little bit. And you know what I noticed a month or two ago? I noticed the tree line on the other side of the Mississippi River is as far as you can see. You can't see anything past that tree line. And it goes all the way down, follows the Mississippi, and it's pretty much all you can see. Like, and guess how far that is from the spot where I'm at. Probably 7 or 8 miles. So, basically, Newport is the entire tree line surrounding Newport, at least towards the west and the north and a little the south, is exactly the distance that I came up with for my radius theory. It's been like that ever since Newport's a town. And I was thinking, man, this is like one of the flattest states in the country. I wonder why that is. I wonder why I can't see more than because there's really no mountains or hills tall enough to see much further than 5 to 10 miles. Unless you're on one of the skyscrapers, or you're flying in one of the jets that like to fly by all day, every day, and one of the bush pilots or the helicopters. They have a new Vietnam War. It literally looks like it was from the Vietnam era, like fighter pilot plane. Never seen it before. It almost crashed into one of the bush pilots, like 100 feet from each other. They almost crashed into each other. It literally looks like it was flying around during the Vietnam War. That's like what time period it looks like it's from. Any port in a storm, baby. Newport. I mean, yeah, I can keep going. You know, just listen to the other episodes if you're interested in that kind of shit. All the shit that'll make you question reality to the point where, I mean, I know all these things. I've known all these things for a while. And I don't even know what to, I look back on some of them, I'm like, holy fucking shit. I'm like, oh my God, man. Like the town Woodbury. Like wood, bury. Like when you bury something. Like my wood. My softwood. Not my hardwood. So these are the kinds of things. When I say reality shifting, shifting isn't the right word. Reality mind raping, where it completely mind rapes your entire perception of reality and what has been your entire life. You know? And this is not me being paranoid schizophrenic. So whenever those thoughts start coming into my head after I connect these things to my life, because they're not all coincidences. It's like the thought insertion is like connecting things that I wouldn't connect in my head after I do things like that. Because clearly all of this shit is not a coincidence. And I proved it's not a dream. I proved it's not a simulation. I proved it's not heaven. I proved it's not hell. So, what are we doing here? I hung a fucking bright-ass light above my bed and shined it on me for like 12 hours while I was sleeping. Days ago, nothing. So, I guess maybe God was waiting for me to do a couple of pod eps. Things like that. There's over 600,000 podcasts in the entire world now. It's a lot of them. They become very popular, of course. Ever since I was a little boy, I've always wanted to be a radio talk show host. Always. Now that, occupation is pretty much fucking dead in the water. Sure, it's a coinky-dink that podcasts are much more popular form of entertainment than live radio morning talk show. You know. Oh, man. The twins. Yeah. Like the word coma. Yeah, I've already gone through all of this. Who cares, right? But all of these things compiled into a list of like 200, 250 things. Are those all coincidences? How about, I just listen to some more fucking music that's about my future while I get inserted with a bunch of schizophrenic, paranoid, delusional thoughts that I don't have. Because why? I don't know. I would freak the fuck out right now, but it's whatever. It's whatever. Because I've known for a long time, deep down, that it was going to be worth it. Well, that time has come, Daddy-O. Jesus Christ. I hope Grandpa's doing okay. Just don't let him go to the casino again, okay? I know he sold his gold cross, pawned it. He could have got more money, to be quite frank. And yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know if anybody saw Eminem's new album. I haven't listened to it, and I'm not going to. Nope, I won't do it. It pisses me the fuck off. But it's all for that, all for the heavens. Can we do it already? I'm dying here. I don't care about anything else. I just do this kind of shit to kill time. And I like talking into a microphone. My voice, really deep voice. You wouldn't picture it by the look of my frame, because I'm so jacked and ripped that you would expect, a somewhat monotone, middle of the road voice. But no, I have probably the deepest voice, obviously, in my entire family out of all of them. Maybe out of all the males combined, nobody has quite a voice like mine, so deep and rumbly. The deep. Why do you think that I'm so skinny? Even when I ate a shit ton of food, I couldn't really gain weight to save my goddamn life. I look like somebody who's been in a coma a little too long. So if you ever find yourself at Treasure Island or Mistake Lake, just ask them if the basement setup is up and running yet. If you're actually going to blow your brains out in the car or at home, just give back to the fucking casino. You'll help somebody fucking like pay their rent for a month. You know what I mean? And they'll dispose of the body, because that's what they do at the Russian roulette game. Now, this Russian roulette game has actually got a long one, because, it ain't great. They've been waiting for this attraction to open for weeks. And, they have like a questionnaire dude there. And there's 2 tables. One for the Russian roulette, one for a different game that nobody's really quite familiar of. And the other non-Russian roulette one, you just see them spinning the thing and putting it up while the dude's talking to the people in the line. And at the other table, it's a booth. You see a man. He has shorts on, or they're like weird sweatpants that he rolled up. And you can see some weird, like, brown, crusty clay formations going on his legs, his pants, his head even. And you think, how is that even possible? What the fuck? Was he hanging out at the mud cauldron at the Yellowstone National Park? And he just hasn't had the time to shower because he really wanted to gamble? And the guy who's, you gotta wait your turn to go to Russian roulette, he says, would you rather play Russian roulette, or would you rather take one deep breath in, one whiff of this man who has his human feces his feces all over his body, and has had the feces all over his body for over 2 days? Would you like to take a whiff, one of shit body? In which case, we'll actually pay you $5,000 to do this, to take a whiff of his, you got to get kind of close to this shit. This is like a fundraiser thing we're doing for the casino. To bring us back to a time when the natives, occupied this land before we ransacked it and put up a casino here and kind of gave them some of the money. go back to a time back then before they had showers and toilets to put their poop, and then if they accidentally got a little poop on their leg, take a shower. We're taking a trip back in time 200 years ago, before any of that was even possible. Back when they had to walk or run to the lake a couple hundred yards away and clean the shit off of their body, which, they would do instantly. So would you rather get paid $5,000 to take one deep breath with your nose of over 2-day-old shit body? Or would you rather pawn all of your possessions that you have on you to play Russian roulette? The choice is yours. And they all kind of look, and they just look at the man, the disheveled thing in the booth. He's like going through his knickknacks and his trinkets. He has a bag and an ammo crate, which you don't really know what's going on because you hear bubbling. You don't need to know. That's his business. Let him do his fucking thing. This is fucking America. You can have shit on your leg for 2 days if you want, and carry an ammo box around that has like a bubbler in it for smoking weed. What is so bad about that? I don't even see why that's a problem. I actually support that kind of behavior. I not only support it, I love it. Be yourself. Don't ever be afraid to be yourself. If you don't want to shower after shitting your pants for a few days, and you want it to crust so hard, and actually it's been on your leg for so long, and it's crustifying, I don't even know, like Play-Doh that's been sitting out for years, but it's seeped into the skin and into the pores of the skin to the point where it's permanently become part of your skin now. And even washing it, scraping it, pressure washing it won't get it out of your skin because now it's part of your DNA. No matter how much PSI in a pressure washer you have, you could literally use the pressure washer on your leg, and it could for some pressure washers will literally take your finger off. That's how much pressure, PSI, pounds per square inch, is going through that hose. So you could literally pressure wash your leg in half, and it would still be ingrained in your DNA and your body tissue because it's just soaked into the pores and into the flesh and skin. It ain't getting out. It's become you. The shit. You and the shit are one. Don't be ashamed of that ever, okay? I'm not hating on anybody who does something like this. Be yourself. Be proud of who you are. It's not a bad thing to not bathe when you have shit all over your body. I actually think it's a good thing, because then you're really getting in touch with your ancestral and primordial roots in terms of I'm trying to think of an animal that would allow themselves to keep poop on their body for that long. Huh. Not pig. Not rat. There's got to be one. If you can come up with an animal that would allow, like, degrade themselves to the point of leaving their shit on their fur or leg or claw or paw or talon for even more than a couple minutes, put it in the comments, because I'm very curious to hear the audience's take on this. All you 3 listeners. I'm trying to really, really dig deep and think. Maybe like an intestinal parasite that lives in shit. Thrives in shit. Anything else? Intestinal parasite. Not even the pig. No, that's about it. Intestinal parasite. Even the botched ham pig would probably commit suicide at the Russian roulette table. So, everybody in line is like, holy shit, $5,000? That means I could go back to the slots. I can go put this all on one hand of blackjack. Holy shit. And they're all thinking, this has got to be a fucking scam, right? Like, this is the prank they're doing. They're not going to give us $5,000 to take a smell of that dude. And after they all really put some deep thought into it, they can smell him from upstairs. There's like multiple people puking and like running away, coiling in fear. The dudes who are doing the Russian roulette, they're like, they don't usually stop when they're playing Russian roulette. They just get it, they just boot. And then they pass it the gun, and then they just keep going until it's over. They literally stop mid-roulette, and they force the table to be moved to the other side of the basement. They don't even want to look, let alone smell. And I didn't see a single one of them choose the whiff. No, they'd rather pawn off their wedding rings. And one of them ripped out his defibrillator in his body. Or whatever the fuck it's called, a pacemaker. Like the new ones where they literally attach, like in surgery, they'll like attach it close to your heart so you don't die. Keeps your heart rate going. The dude took a knife and cut into his chest cavity and ripped out the pacemaker thing that's keeping him alive, essentially. It's like jumpstarts his heart anytime it slows down. He ripped out it's like not a cheap piece of equipment, Another dude was yanking out his gold teeth. One of them had like not a glass eye. It was like way more advanced. It's like a new technology that they have. Instead of a glass eye, it's like a smartphone in eyeball form. And it hooks up to your brain. Kind of like Neuralink, but one of them actually had the Neuralink prototype. He ripped it out. He said, you know what, fuck my vision. which Neuralink, it's literally they cut a hole in your skull, and it's an AI circular microchip that replaces this piece of skull that was cut out, and it literally if you're blind, it'll fix your blindness because it's AI, and it connects all the parts of the brain that are not connecting or firing correctly, all the things wrong with, like, if you're paralyzed, it can literally make it so you're not paralyzed. That's what Elon Musk is doing. Fucking lazy bum. And I mean, literally, if you're blind, it'll make it so you can see again. It'll fix your hearing loss, things like that. Paralysis. I'm not even joking. That's what Neuralink is. And he said on Joe Rogan, eventually, if there's two people with Neuralinks, they can just telepathically have a conversation without even speaking a word. Elon, it's already possible. I hate to break it to you, but you're not, like, breaking any ground there. Okay. The internet does it all day, every day to me when I'm used to be on the internet. But the dude, he said, fuck my sight. And he was also paralyzed, too, from botching the last Russian roulette round he had. So he's paralyzed from the neck down. Well, he was. He got the Neuralink prototype, and he's walking around, having a good time. He can see again because he has a tumor growing in his eye socket. And he said, so wait, I could keep this Neuralink so I can walk and see and get paid $5,000 to take a smell of that thing over there. Or I could pawn the Neuralink chip that's literally fixed my brain, made it so I can see again. I can see my children again, my grandchildren. I can watch the Vikings instead of just trying to listen to them. I can walk around. I don't have to hobble around in a fucking non-electric wheelchair, which somebody has to push me around because I'm paralyzed. I can pawn that thing and play Russian roulette, or I can literally get paid $5,000, get to watch the Vikings. I get to watch my fat wife cook dinner every night while I slug down a fucking bottle of Windsor. Walking around, dancing, having a good time. Because the Vikings they have a winning record. And all I have to do is take one deep breath in with my nose of whatever that is. And they all sprint to the table where they're playing Russian roulette, and they load 6 bullets in and they just all kill each other. I swear to God. That was after they pawned everything, of course. So the guy who, was paralyzed, he couldn't quite make it. And he couldn't see where the gun was. So he's still alive. Man, if it wasn't for comedy, man, I'd be one of those guys too. But I'm not even joking about any of this. I witnessed it all last night. They do have a new section in every basement casino in the country. It's basically assisted suicide like Canada does. They have it like, yeah, they'll let you kill yourself in Canada. They'll actually help you do it. So I think our country is kind of shifting towards that, but like a wild card version, like a little bit off the rails, kind of fun, kind of crazy. Because the casinos, they know that nobody's going to take the whiff. They know that they're not going to be giving anybody $5,000. Otherwise, they wouldn't offer it. So that begs the question, what about the man thing that has the shit on the body of his person? How does he breathe without wanting to cut off all sense of smell in the future? How does he not like rip open the nearest fire hydrant and just lay on top of it? How has he not killed himself with the suicide rates in this country? I'll tell you why. Because he's genuinely himself. Because he's not embarrassed to be him. That's the whole point of this story. Now, another day goes by, so we're approaching 72 hours. This is when it becomes piss bucket chemical waste. You know, like water, like burning eyes. Which, you know, that's hour one for the shit thing. The piss bucket, it took weeks to accumulate that kind of, you know, pheromone and chemical waste. It felt like I was walking around in Chernobyl when I went into my garage. I'm not even kidding. I could feel it from the outside of the garage door. It felt like we were all in a nuclear radioactive wasteland. And the rainwater in the entire Twin Cities smelled like that for 3 straight days. So everybody was, you know, breathing it in, whiffing it in. They didn't really seem to mind. And I agree with him. I grew fond of the smell. That's why I didn't empty the piss bucket. I'm not even kidding. It's like when, you know, they say every human likes the smell of their own shit for some reason. I don't know why. It's like a biological thing. Or their own farts. But not other people's shit and other people's farts. That explains the shit. So I called some scientists. And they didn't really ask too many questions about what kind of specimen they were coming to research. And, you know, they seemed a bit weary on the cell phone. And I thought, you know what? Why are you guys asking me so many questions about a science lab experiment? And they said, well, we're just trying to get as many details about what we're walking into here. We don't really get calls like this. We don't really, get calls about things and like swamp things. But if the swamp was just human shit. Wow, we're already at an hour and a half here. And I was in the middle of asking him what sector of India he was from. Because, he's a doctor. But he had like an American Indian accent, not a Native American Indian. An American Indian from India. Mumbai. That's what he said. But essentially, Shitleg is at the point of no return at hour 72. We're creeping to hour 75. And I'm starting to like lose hope in ever seeing him like speak another human word again, like an English word. This is a good dear friend of mine, The same person who I thought was cutting a little hideaway, little sneak through doorway in his garage under all of his hoarding shit and watching me while I was in my garage. Yes, that was when I was actually worried about things. When I was actually fearful of people drilling holes in my garage wall and sneaking cameras into my garage wall and spying on me while I was minding my business. Back when I thought people actually would do something like that. Huh, how ironic. Same guy. I'm pretty sure he has like 13 different species of animal living in his garage. Like he could literally have a petting zoo where all the kids come along and pet all the animals, the rats, the mice, the crickets, the spiders, the opossums, the weasels, the ferrets, the squirrels, the raccoons, the skunks. What else? The cats, the birds. I'm sure he has a cardinal in there, a sparrow. Let's see. I'm pretty sure there's a few gardener snakes. Maybe even, what are those bigger snakes in Minnesota called? Monitor lizard, or whatever the fuck. I'm pretty sure he actually, all these animals like had an orgy. And they created a new species of animal in his garage right over there. I'm looking at behind the back side of the garage right now. There's probably like all kinds of like in the new Jurassic World movies where they create like a apex dinosaur predator. Like I don't even remember the names of them because that's all they do in the new Jurassic World movies. They just create genetically modified dinosaurs with like computers and genes from all the other cool dinosaurs. But that's basically what's happening in the garage outside. I swear to God. So that's the same guy. Shitleg. Lovely dude. Woman, I don't know. Is he a Barbie? Sometimes I wonder. And what is past the point of no return for an incident like that? When you have bacteria growing on you in the clay. When you have like live fungi, like live mushrooms and wet fungi growing off of the bacteria's larvae. This is why I say this is like beyond any other. I think any other creature that any movie has ever seen, TV show, comic book, written book. Obviously, not of this world. I don't think anybody's ever witnessed something quite like this. Let alone in a movie like The Swamp Thing or I'm trying to think of something more putrid. Let's think. I'm drawing a blank because I don't think there quite is. I was thinking of, God, I can't even think of anything. Like the Ents in Lord of the Rings, but like if they were full of wet, sopping wood that was like fermented in like cheese piss. Like somebody's melted Fromunda cheese that they collected over the years, decades. Fromunda cheese, for those of you who don't know, is if you don't take a shower for a while, you get this gunk in your gooch between your balls and your asshole. It's like white, sticky, gooey liquid. Fromunda cheese. So imagine somebody collecting like jars of that over like the course of their 80-year life. That's kind of what we had going on the leg. And at this point, it's all over. I'm starting to think that it's on me, and I haven't even been within 50 feet of him. He came outside and was chilling, just hanging out, kicking it. Fromunda cheese shit. And that's when, like, the scientist, like, I wanted to surprise him. So I had him, like, I pretended like I was going to do, like, hypnotherapy on him. Because I just wanted to see, like, if we could conjure or, like, do an exorcism of whatever spirit had taken hold of that. Because clearly that's otherworldly. You know what I mean? That's otherworldly. It's like, dude, they don't even have a species to compare it to on this planet. That's the thing. They have to go to another solar system. Not the Nile crocodile. Not even, what am I thinking of? Not even, shit bacterial, larvae. I don't even know, man. It's like, yeah, there's literally no words to describe. And the doctors, they didn't even want to come in. Because it's much like the piss bucket. You smell it from down the street. Except my piss bucket, I took pride in. So did he, though. That's the thing. We're just being ourselves. That's the whole gimmick. That's the whole point. Me, I like to shit, piss, bleed, blow my snot, hawk loogies, cum, like the eyeball fluid, earwax, literally any organ fluid, internal organ fluid. Ice cream, coffee, creamer, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew, dip, spit, dip, cigarette butts. What else did I put in there? Sunflower seeds, probably some body armor, maybe even some like grass clippings from mowing the yard, some sweat. What else? Chocolate,
So I had that accumulated in a bucket, a Menards bucket. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever been more proud of anything in my entire life. I swear, right hand to God. Because what accumulated from that? When the entire Twin Cities area smells like the piss bucket everywhere I go to do deliveries, and it's not because I stepped in the piss or I had it on my clothes or anything. No, it was the rainwater. I swear to God. And no, it's not some alternate reality thing where I was smelling something from another reality. No. No. This was quite literally because back then I don't even think I had heard of coma dreams. I didn't even know what a coma dream was back then. Somehow I had thought the Illuminati was able to control the weather and make the rainwater smell like my piss bucket. Swear to God. I thought, you know what, that's actually pretty neat. Sucks to be everybody else. I like it. That was the moment where I'm like, something ain't right here. Something is a bit off in this world. I think that was just over a year ago, maybe 14 months, maybe even before that, before the car accident. Yeah, I'm doing soldering, which I've been fucking doing jack shit all day, because time flies by like 4 times faster than it used to. So don't get on my case about what this and that. It's not a coma dream, so what are we doing here? Usually, the deeper you get in the dream, the faster time goes compared to the normal reality, but it's not a coma dream. I disproved it. I just did. I know some people probably want it to be a coma dream so they don't have to exist for much longer. Sorry, folks. You got to carry on. You can't ditch out on your kid. Or just quit in life because Hayden said it might be a coma dream. No, you gotta fight through it just like me. Although there's times where I think, oh man, maybe I should go bungee jumping. Or the wingsuits. Those are kind of fun. Except I feel like if it's a dream, where's my Iron Man suit? I have 2 wars to go stop. Both of which I put out into the air and into the mystical vibes of the universe. End of the wars. The universe didn't really seem to cooperate with that one. But when I said war it up afterwards, the universe responds to that. So you can see where my good and well-intended efforts, what they accumulate to. So, no, I'm not going to turn my back on humanity. I love human beings. When the word human being literally ties to your life so directly and weirdly, what do you do with that? And the word coma, you know? And suicide. Sue-aside. So yeah, I hate to break it to you folks, but it's not like I'm just like some paranoid schizophrenic who's making all these dumb connections. because they because they're delusional and not connected to me in any way at all. No, they all do, unfortunately. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. But put yourself in my shoes, for God's sakes. I literally have, like, saved you all from having to deal with some of the most crazy mind rape of all time. And I'll gladly do that every day until I die or I ascend into heaven. Preferably the latter right now. You know? So you're welcome. I also came up with yeah, I already touched on it on the last episode. I'm not going to, toot my own horn over and over and over again. Although it's nice to remind myself of how good of a guy I've become. And I think, oh God. I was thinking back on some of the episodes that I did. I was showing the scientists what they thought about priests getting all skitzed out, and how if the churches in this country just paid 15% taxes on their income, it'd be $2 trillion a year to help this country. More than probably double the amount to be able to end homelessness and starvation in this country. So, yeah, when I see things like that, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm not so bad. I could be running a mega church and have 3 private jets and literally 17,000 people every hour come and visit me for fucking 6 hours a week to hear me spiel while I have like a metal globe rotating the size of fucking King Kong behind me. But I'm not going to do that. No. I'd rather just give you all the truth for free and not be a greedy pig. Because I also know my time here is nigh. So, yeah. I am going to have to, we had to reschedule with the scientists. They wanted to examine after the, they said the cleanup. I don't think they realize, who they're dealing with here. The cleanup. What are you talking about? You mean when we, get clean from drugs or what? I mean, we're not, this dude ain't, yeah, that ain't happening. And that's fine. That's a good thing. Just like I purposely let the piss just grow and grow and grow. The piss bucket. Because I thought it'd be funny to piss off the neighbors. I knew they hated it. I knew they would talk about it. I knew they could smell it. I could smell it. I loved it. It's my garage. I can accumulate buckets of piss and other bodily fluids if I want to. It's just a free country. Yeah, it may feel like Chernobyl when you're walking past to take out the garbage. You may feel like you have gotten radiation poisoning. In which case, I actually might have. I'm not even... God, it was the craziest fucking smell ever, dude. When you can't sit in a room anymore because your eyes are burning so bad. Like, I had to leave the garage because I couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. I was crying. from burning. And I thought that was funny. The scientists didn't really seem to think that Swamp Thing from another solar system was very funny. Maybe that's why they're scientists, not normies who think piss and shit is a good bit. I'm kind of running on E here. It's been 4.5 days without water. I'm really hoping God pulls me through here soon, because I'm about toast. I'm about fried. I don't even know what to do. I want to reach out to my family due to certain things, but at the same time, it's like, oh, well, now that I disproved coma dream and simulation, you think all that weird subconscious shit would go away. Then I would talk to the family. But I don't even have time. No, I wouldn't. Because that's the whole reason why God recommended that I not go see my family. Many times. Recommended that I not go see my sister and give her picture. Well, there's 4 of them. There's 2 sides. 2 papers, 2 sides. One of them's a double. I kind of skimped on her last time I saw her. With some fucking joke of a coloring picture. But she already got one. She got a cool one. Like one that I would want to look at when I'm tripping on acid and mushrooms. Which is something I kind of am planning on doing, maybe. Eat 1/8 of mushrooms, take a couple of tabs. Right when I start peaking, just smoke some DMT and head for the stars. Or try fentanyl, one of the two. I mean, if anybody has a good crocodile plug, let me know. I'm trying to turn into a crocodile at nighttime and slither around in the sewers. Become like a real super villain. Like the Nile crocodiles are I think they're the longest lasting breed of, like, the oldest breed of animal living on the planet today. They were around when the dinosaurs were around. The Nile crocodile, a lot different than the alligator. They're probably about twice the size of a Florida alligator. Big difference. And for those of you who don't know, you'd probably think, oh, Africa. Nile crocodile probably kills the most people in Africa, obviously, right? Some might say the lion. You'd both be wrong. You'd both be wrong. Because it's neither of those two. It's actually the hippopotamus. The herbivore. Yep, not even a carnivore. Can you imagine that? Nile crocodile. God, what a fucking beast of an animal. What is this website? Britannica. Jesus, man. They have animals, they have drug information, they have like war information. Just kind of came out of nowhere. Freshwater lakes, rivers, and swamps. Swamps. One of the largest living reptiles of Southeast Asia and Australia in both size and weight. The species was thought to have included certain crocodile populations from western sub-Saharan Africa. However, these populations were assigned to its own species. Wow. Nile crocodiles have a reputation for being fearsome and aggressive, a perspective understood by hundreds of documented Nile crocodile attacks on people and livestock each year. They can grow almost to, 20 feet long. Jesus. And about 1,500 pounds. Times that by 2 and we're good. So the average is 13.1 feet to 14.8 feet long and weigh about 900 pounds on average. Very thick skin with bony plates on their back. Yeah, if you don't know what a Nile crocodile looks like, fucking go jump off a bridge. It's one of the most deadly, most badass predators of all time, and it lived through the extinction of the dinosaurs. One of the most dangerous reptiles in the world. I don't know which one would be more dangerous. Fish feed on birds, other crocodiles, and mammals such as wildebeest and other antelopes, and young elephants. Yeah, that'll get you. The Nile croc. Huh. This is what I want to know. Sexual maturity. Can a human being fuck a crocodile? $80 eggs each year. Holy shit. That's fucking nuts. They mate once per year and produce up to 80 eggs. Holy shit. Yeah, no. I'm researching Nile crocodiles. Nothing to do with me and my soulmate fucking and having kids. Alright, thought insertion. This is the kind of shit that goes on. You're welcome, America. Egg incubation temperature during the middle third of the 3-month incubation period determines the sex of the young. Cooler and warmer temperatures producing females and intermediate temperatures between 31.7 Celsius, 89.1 Fahrenheit, and 94.1 Fahrenheit. Nice 5-degree medium there. The young crocodiles will remain with their mother until they gradually disperse, starting at 3 months of age. Nile crocodiles are thought to live between 40 and 60 years old in the wild. Gosh dang, dude. That's older than some Americans. Unless you died from COVID, then you're living twice as old. The life expectancy is twice as old as the average crocodile if you die from COVID. Only a few hundred confirmed human deaths per year. I wonder how many hippos. Hippos must be fucking on a tear, dude. Yeah. I sometimes think, man, my life could be worse. I could be washing clothes in the Nile River. But that's a real quick, easy way to go. Plus, then you're giving your body back to the habitat, nature. You're not getting burned in a fucking furnace and turned to ash and set up on top of somebody's fucking shelf above their fireplace. What a waste. Feed me to a polar bear. It really makes a lot of sense. Why would you want to be in a fucking $400 urn on somebody's mantle, like, as ash? when you could have been eaten by a polar bear. The polar bear is probably going to survive like a month just from your body. Imagine that. Polar bears are becoming extinct. They don't have much to eat, especially in the summer. They're forced inland in northern Alaska and northern Canada, northern Russia. It actually is mind-blowing to me that not every human being is not fed to animals. Like, it actually kind of pisses me off, actually. I'm not even going to lie. I'm getting pissed off thinking about all the fucking, like, wasted potential. I'm not saying, do whatever the fuck you want, but Jesus Christ, man. What a waste. A polar bear, yeah, these are the kind of things I need to know right away before I forget. How long could a polar bear survive off of one human body? No, not how long do polar bears live. God, dude. How do polar bears survive? The meat of humans. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. I mean, there's not a single article on how much, like 150 pounds, 160, 100, 200-pound human being would last a polar bear. Not a single article on any of this shit. Does nobody care about the polar bears anymore? Oh, wrapping up beluga season. That's good. Yeah. This is why the internet can go fuck itself. Huh. What? I have to go back to that article. Now I'm just looking for a certain article about something. If you don't like the dead air, go listen to a different podcast. You think I give a shit? Oh, how to survive bear attacks. I'll tell you, I don't even need to read the article. But I'll read it afterwards. If it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If it's white, good night. Black bears fight to the death. They will fight you to the death. If it's a grizzly bear, as soon as that fucking grizzly bear touches you, just lay down and don't even fucking move. It'll probably leave you alone. As soon as they think you're no longer a threat, they typically leave you alone. And if you run into a polar bear in the wild, you're fucking toast. I don't know why it is that black bears fight to the death versus grizzlies. I know that if you're walking around in the woods in Alaska, carry around like a bell on your hip. And if you're with people, just always be talking at least decently loud. Because the worst thing you can do is stumble across a fucking grizzly bear and her cubs. And that's if you're being quiet and you fucking accidentally sneak up on them. Because if they hear you, they're 95% of the time, they're going to run away. They don't want anything to do with humans. They don't like coming in contact with human beings. So you carry a bell, and you just talk at a decent volume, and you'll probably never see a grizzly bear in the wild. Black bears, I'm not so sure on how they feel about the bell and the talking. But I know that for a fact. Just, even if you're by yourself, just talk out loud. Or play some music or something, you know? You don't want to, I know I get it, like you're out in nature, you want to fucking be quiet and just enjoy the peace and quiet. I remember what that used to be like. It's pretty quiet up in Alaska. But I've only seen one grizzly bear in my life. And it was from the car. Never seen a bear except a black bear on a frisbee golf course in Alaska. And it was probably like 40, 50 feet away from us. Probably a 350-pound bear. And yeah. Just make noise in the woods. You don't have to be in Alaska. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Polar bear's just going to eat you to death. You have no chance. Plus, there's so much. I think they're even bigger than the grizz. But you got to be really far up north to even really come in contact with one in the summer. Because in the winter, they're out on the ice, for now. While the ice is still around in the winter. Yeah, this fucking soldering is too hot. Jeez, man. I don't like these thick tips either. But 350 wasn't hot enough. If you have any soldering tips, hit me up. What kind of what kind of resin do you use? Use like the thicker wire resin or the thin one? I got 4060 rosin core wire solder. I haven't really done much because I'm kind of like at the point where it's like I feel like I'm dying. I feel like I have done enough in this world. I'm kind of giving up hope on ever talking to or seeing my family ever again. So, that's something that usually a man holds on to. But after last Friday, not so much. I literally like blacked it out of my memory, I think. And that's why God didn't want me to go see my sister, my cousin. Which I'll talk about here now. So the scientist says to me, this guy sounds like a fucking drunk piece of shit, a booze hound, essentially. I fumbled all my words because I'm thinking about gay shit. Thinking about how God is, or whatever, if it's God's plan, or maybe the universe just fucking hates me that much for being a smart, experienced man who's not a pussy crybaby bitch who's dumb enough to fall for the games when I've already fucking seen them half 100 times. So I should be locked out of heaven because I call out the mind games right away. I realize that God's trying to make me lose my faith. So then, when I'm even lower than, it's not possible, lower than I am now, then he'll come in and save the day. When I have no faith, after having faith and praying for 7 weeks. Does that make sense? Why would you make somebody lose faith? Wouldn't you want to send people to heaven when they're most willing and open to God or whatever the fuck? Most confident in their faith and in themselves, and like turning a new fucking stone, whatever the fuck, in a good way. Not having them experience that good, faithful, hopeful feeling for 6 weeks on and off while fucking their life up nonstop. Just sitting back and watching it happen. Just waiting for them to stop believing in you. Stop believing in God. God has abandoned me. So then I come in and let them go to heaven. What? How about maybe not everybody's the same, huh? How about maybe the fact that you got 6 weeks of pretty strong, undying, unrelentless faith out of me is a fucking goddamn miracle. And I didn't want to give up my mindset because you know why? Because when I first started thinking that this was purgatory and I started believing in God again, society started to feel normal again. Like people started to act like themselves again. People were laughing and smiling. There was no thought insertion. There was no mind rape when I started changing my beliefs towards purgatory and God. So I said, all right, I'm going to just stick with that because that's what everybody deserves. It's what I want. That's why I haven't changed my mind. So fuck you, God, for doing that at the beginning and doing that a few times sporadically during that 6 week period, and then just still kind of saying, ah, fuck everybody. Even though my beliefs have not changed about purgatory and God, that's why I didn't change my mind. Because I could see and feel the shift in people. Things were like normal. It was like when they remove a spirit from a haunted house. And that chilling, bone-chilling fucking, like, creepy fear is completely just lifted from the entire property. That's literally what it felt like. So I said, all right, I'm sticking with that then. Because that hasn't happened before. Back when I believed it was a coma dream, back when I believed it was simulation, or both of them combined, or just the real world. That has never happened. Not like that. So I said, I'm not going to, all right, that's what I'm doing now. That's what it is. Clearly. And even if I'm wrong, I'm not going to change my mind. Because it's the only time I've ever seen that shift in people. And it's pretty much gone now. So that came and went pretty quickly. I fought for it to come back. I really did. I mean, I'm not going to like keep repeating my same beliefs and opinions and thoughts that I already know are true and God knows are true as well. God knows is true as well. No. No. You know what I believe and what I think and what I feel, God. So I'm not going to keep repeating myself hundreds of times just to like prove that I can remember things sometimes, because you seem to think it's okay with erasing people's memory. Satan? Yeah, well, what allowed that shift to happen in people? Was that Satan just saying, all right, fuck it, I'm done here? Or was that God stepping in and letting good take over? Felt like the latter. So that's why I haven't lost faith, God. You know my mom's middle name? Or Hope. You know the neighbor's first name? Maybe we should hit the Lotto Witch. See if we can win the lottery with the Lotto Witch tonight. Or maybe we should marry some rocks. Or maybe this is all because of me. Me, Y-E-R. You know, I'm the reason why this is all happening. Just go to the ER, Hayden. Well, I feel fine physically, so that won't be happening. And to like fuck with somebody's perception of emotions and mental capacity and resilience and what it even means to feel certain things and think, and just kind of toying, like allowing that to be toyed with for weeks. I don't know if that's a God that I really appreciate that much. A God that seems to think it's okay to erase human beings' memories. Fuck with their mind and their life to the point for months, actually years. Yeah, was it all for heaven? That's been my mindset for about 6.5 weeks. Where are we at on that? Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm a better person than I was 8 months ago. I've been through so much more fucked up shit. And And I can't even see my own goddamn family or my friends. Not because it's my fault. Because when I shifted my beliefs to God and purgatory, I probably would have seen my family by now if those things stayed instilled. But after what happened just 8 days ago, I figured, you know what, I'm definitely going to heaven tonight. Friday night, 8 days ago. Here I am. Smoking cigarettes, staring at a wall. Which is, this angle is pretty good. You can see the closet a little bit better. Which I haven't really stared at the inner closet wall too much. The other walls, yes. So, yeah. Guess I'll just keep praying. I just feel like this is just, I hate to say it, I feel like this is just being like God being like, oh no, you're actually going to go to hell, you two. We don't want you up here. That's what it feels like. Just stringing me along until I just turn into a fucking empty nothingness who doesn't enjoy anything, which I'm already there. Who doesn't talk to anybody, I'm already there. Because I'm not up there. I'll talk up there all fucking day. I can't wait. I haven't had water in 4.5 days. It was 2.5 that night. So 4 days, 5 days, and going on 5 almost. Since that vision where I've gone multiple days without water, H2O. And if you're like trying to get me to fucking talk to dude, God, have you seen what happens when have you seen what's happening to humanity? You want me to go talk like bring people back into my life? That's why you didn't have me go see my family before. You know? I get it. Life has been, for the most part, pretty easy up until the last 2.5 years. But to not even be able to talk to my cousin after literally having a series of memories from a different life, obviously my previous life before this purgatory one, where me and her had a child together who was my little sister. Because she won't talk to me, you know? So, and I knew that she blocked me for a reason. She would never do something like that, you know? That's really unlike her. And then just ignore me when I message her, you know? Really not, really, like changing the people in my life. I'm not, what am I, like, just blame Satan because that makes it so much better, right? yeah, I would have really liked to talk to her about that and my little sister, who apparently was my daughter in another life. That's it wasn't a dream. It wasn't imagination. It was literally connected and tied to with such intense emotions that I've never felt for any other human being in my entire life. So like it literally felt like she was my wife and my daughter when experiencing those memories. Of course, I've never felt that for anybody ever. I've never had a wife and a daughter, not in this life. I've never felt that strong of a connection to anybody, even in my current life now. Not even everybody combined. Nope. So, yeah. Whatever the hell that means. Yeah, I was going to go into a bit about the doctor being on hold, but who gives a fuck?